in your stomach when you wanted to speak up, but the words just wouldn't come out. That hesitation, that fear of judgment, it's a cage, and it's time to break free. Now, you might be thinking, why should I bother? Being quiet isn't hurting anyone. But let me tell you, staying silent is a missed opportunity. It's a chance to connect, to learn, to grow, a chance to truly live. If this resonates with you, stick around. We're about to embark on a journey to unlock your confidence, to embrace your voice, and to silence that inner critic once and for all. And hey, if you find this helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more life-changing content. Now, let me share a story from my own life. Picture this, a young man, fresh out of high school, stepping into the bustling world of college. The lecture halls were packed, the energy was palpable, but this young man, he was terrified. He'd always been shy, reserved, and the thought of speaking up in front of his peers filled him with dread. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. The young man watched as his classmates engaged in lively discussions, debated ideas, and formed friendships. He yearned to be part of it all, but that nagging voice in his head held him back. What if they laugh at me? What if I say something stupid? It was a constant battle. One day, after yet another silent lecture, the young man found himself sitting alone in the library. He picked up a book, a biography of a great leader. As he read about the leader's triumphs and tribulations, a realization dawned on him. This leader, despite facing countless obstacles, never let fear silence his voice. He spoke his truth, even when it was unpopular, and he inspired millions in the process. The young man closed the book, a newfound determination in his eyes. He knew that he couldn't let shyness dictate his life any longer. He had to take a chance, to step out of his comfort zone, to embrace the power of his own voice. And so, the journey began. It wasn't easy, mind you. There were setbacks, moments of self-doubt, and the occasional stumble. But the young man persevered, fueled by the knowledge that his voice mattered. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is shyness? Well, according to Dr. Philip Zimbardo, a renowned psychologist, shyness is the tendency to feel tense, worried, or awkward during social interactions, especially with unfamiliar people. It's that feeling of discomfort, that fear of being judged, that can hold you back from fully engaging with the world. But here's the thing, shyness isn't a life sentence. It's a trait, not a defining characteristic. And like any trait, it can be managed, overcome, and even transformed into a strength. Now, here's where things get a bit tricky. You see, there's often a misunderstanding when it comes to the term shy. Many people confuse it with introversion, or even social anxiety disorder. While these three share some similarities, they are distinct and have different impacts on your life. Introversion is a personality trait characterized by a preference for solitude and quiet environments. Introverts recharge their energy by spending time alone, and they often find large social gatherings draining. Shyness, on the other hand, is a feeling of discomfort or anxiety in social situations, regardless of your personality type. You can be an introvert who's perfectly comfortable in social settings, or an extrovert who struggles with shyness. Social anxiety disorder, or SAD, is a more severe form of shyness. It's a mental health condition characterized by intense fear and anxiety in social situations, to the point where it interferes with your daily life. People with SAD often go to great lengths to avoid social interactions, and they may experience physical symptoms like sweating, trembling, and nausea. So, how can you tell the difference? Well, if you're simply an introvert, you'll likely enjoy spending time alone, but you won't necessarily feel anxious or uncomfortable in social situations. If you're shy, you might feel nervous or awkward in social settings, but you'll still be able to participate and enjoy yourself. If you have SAD, your fear of social situations will be so intense that it significantly impacts your life. Now that we've cleared up some of the confusion surrounding shyness, let's dive deeper into the signs and symptoms. How can you tell if you're dealing with excessive shyness? Well, there are a few telltale signs to look out for. First and foremost, you might find yourself constantly worrying about what others think of you. This fear of judgment can be paralyzing, preventing you from speaking up, sharing your ideas, or even making eye contact. You might also experience physical symptoms like blushing, sweating, or a racing heart in social situations. Another common sign of excessive shyness is a tendency to avoid social interactions altogether. You might decline invitations to parties or gatherings, or you might make excuses to avoid talking to people. This avoidance can lead to feelings of isolation and loneliness, further fueling your shyness. You might also find yourself overthinking and overanalyzing social interactions. You might replay conversations in your head, obsessing over every little detail and wondering if you said or did something wrong. This rumination can be exhausting and can prevent you from enjoying the present moment. Now, you might be thinking, so what if I'm a bit shy? It's not hurting anyone. But the truth is, excessive shyness can have a significant impact on your life, both personally and professionally. On a personal level, shyness can hinder your ability to form meaningful relationships. It can prevent you from connecting with others, sharing your thoughts and feelings, and building a strong support network. This can lead to feelings of isolation, loneliness, and even depression. Professionally, shyness can hold you back from reaching your full potential. It can prevent you from speaking up in meetings, sharing your ideas, or taking on leadership roles. This can limit your career opportunities and prevent you from achieving your goals. But the impact of shyness doesn't stop there. It can also affect those around you. When you're overly shy, you might miss out on opportunities to collaborate, to learn from others, and to contribute your unique talents to the world. This can be a loss not only for you, but for everyone who could benefit from your knowledge and perspective. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds terrible, but how can I overcome my shyness? Well, the good news is that shyness isn't a life sentence. There are steps you can take to break free from its grip and embrace your true potential. One powerful technique is what I like to call fake it till you make it. Now, I know that might sound a bit counterintuitive, but hear me out. Research has shown that acting confident, even if you don't feel it, can actually trick your brain into believing it. It's like putting on a mask of confidence, and over time, that mask starts to feel more and more like your own skin. Let me tell you a story about a young woman named Sarah. Sarah was incredibly shy, and she struggled to speak up in meetings at work. She knew she had valuable ideas to contribute, but the fear of judgment held her back. One day, she decided to try faking it till she made it. She started by simply making eye contact with her colleagues and nodding along during discussions. Then, she gradually began to share her thoughts, starting with small comments and building up to more substantial contributions. At first, it was terrifying. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest, and her palms sweated, but she kept at it, reminding herself that she had something valuable to offer. Then slowly but surely, something amazing happened. The more Sarah spoke up, the more confident she became. Her colleagues started to see her in a new light, and she even received praise for her insightful contributions. By faking it till she made it, Sarah not only overcame her shyness, but also discovered her true potential as a leader. Now, while faking it till you make it can be a powerful tool, it's important to remember not to set unrealistic expectations for yourself. Research has shown that perfectionism can actually worsen shyness and anxiety. When you set the bar too high, you're more likely to feel overwhelmed and discouraged, which can lead to avoidance and further withdrawal. So, instead of striving for perfection, focus on progress. Celebrate small victories, like making eye contact with a stranger, initiating a conversation, or speaking up in a meeting. Remember, overcoming shyness is a journey, not a destination. It takes time, patience, and self-compassion. Another helpful tip is to challenge your negative thoughts. When you're feeling shy, it's easy to fall into a pattern of negative self-talk. You might tell yourself things like, "I'm not good enough, I'm going to mess up," or "everyone is judging me." These thoughts can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, reinforcing your shyness and preventing you from taking action. But here's the thing, those negative thoughts aren't reality. They're just thoughts, and you have the power to change them. When you catch yourself thinking something negative, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this really true? What evidence do I have to support this thought? What would I say to a friend who is thinking this way? By challenging your negative thoughts, you can start to reframe your thinking and build a more positive self-image. Another crucial aspect of overcoming shyness is to become aware of what's happening in your mind when you're overthinking. Overthinking is like a magnifying glass held over your insecurities, amplifying your fears and doubts. It can lead to a spiral of negative thoughts that can be hard to escape. So, the next time you find yourself overthinking, take a step back and observe your thoughts. What are you telling yourself? Are you catastrophizing, imagining the worst case scenario? Are you focusing on your flaws and shortcomings? Are you comparing yourself to others? By simply becoming aware of your thoughts, you can start to gain control over them. You can challenge their validity, reframe them in a more positive light, and ultimately, choose not to believe them. Remember, your thoughts are not facts. They are simply interpretations of reality, and you have the power to choose which interpretations you want to believe. One helpful technique for managing overthinking is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It involves focusing on your breath, your senses, and your bodily sensations. By grounding yourself in the present moment, you can break free from the cycle of overthinking and find a sense of calm and clarity. Let's talk about some practical tips for navigating social interactions when you're feeling shy. One simple yet effective strategy is to start with a question. When you're feeling nervous or unsure of what to say, asking a question can be a great way to break the ice and get the conversation flowing. It shows that you're interested in the other person, and it takes the pressure off of you to come up with something witty or profound to say. Think of it this way: everyone loves to talk about themselves. By asking a question, you're giving the other person a chance to share their thoughts, experiences, and interests. This not only makes them feel heard and valued, but it also gives you a chance to learn more about them and find common ground. And who knows, you might even discover that you have more in common than you initially thought. Another crucial step in overcoming shyness is to step outside of your comfort zone. I know, it's easier said than done, but here's the thing. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. When you challenge yourself to do things that scare you, you're not only building confidence, but you're also expanding your horizons and creating new possibilities for yourself. So, what does stepping outside of your comfort zone look like? It could be as simple as striking up a conversation with a stranger, attending a social event alone, or speaking up in a meeting. It could also involve taking on new challenges, learning new skills, or pursuing your passions, even if they scare you. Remember, fear is a natural part of the human experience. It's there to protect us, but it can also hold us back. By facing your fears head on, you're not only overcoming shyness, but you're also embracing a life of courage, growth, and endless possibilities. Now, I know that stepping outside of your comfort zone can be daunting, but let me remind you that you're not alone in this journey. Many successful and inspiring individuals have overcome shyness to achieve great things. Take, for example, the legendary actress Audrey Hepburn. She was known for her elegance, grace, and captivating performances on screen. But what many people don't know is that Hepburn struggled with shyness throughout her life. She was often described as quiet and reserved off screen, and she even admitted to feeling nervous before performances. However, Hepburn didn't let her shyness define her. She embraced her fears, stepped onto the stage, and captivated audiences with her talent and charisma. She once said, "Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible." This quote perfectly encapsulates her unwavering belief in herself and her ability to overcome any obstacle. Another inspiring example is the late comedian and actor Robin Williams. Williams was known for his quick wit, infectious energy, and hilarious improvisations. But behind the laughter, Williams battled with social anxiety and depression. He often spoke about his struggles with shyness and how he used comedy as a way to connect with others. Williams' story is a powerful reminder that even the most outgoing and charismatic individuals can struggle with shyness. But it also shows that shyness doesn't have to hold you back from achieving your dreams. By embracing your fears, stepping outside of your comfort zone, and finding your own unique voice, you can overcome shyness and live a life of joy, fulfillment, and connection. Now, before we move on, I want to address something important. If you're listening to this and feeling a bit discouraged, please don't be. Shyness is not a weakness. In fact, it can be a source of great strength. Shy individuals are often known for their thoughtfulness, empathy, and keen observation skills. They tend to be good listeners, deep thinkers, and loyal friends. They often possess a quiet strength and resilience that allows them to overcome challenges and achieve their goals. So, if you're shy, don't view it as a burden. Embrace it as a part of who you are and use it to your advantage. Remember, shyness is simply a starting point, not a final destination. With the right tools and strategies, you can overcome your fears, unlock your confidence, and live a life that's full of joy, connection, and fulfillment. Now, I know that this journey might seem overwhelming, but I want to assure you that it's absolutely possible. You have the power within you to overcome shyness and embrace your true potential. It all starts with taking that first step, whether it's making eye contact with a stranger, initiating a conversation, or simply smiling at someone you pass on the street. Remember, every journey begins with a single step, and as you take those steps, you'll discover a whole new world of possibilities. You'll find your voice, build meaningful relationships, and achieve things you never thought possible. So, take a deep breath, believe in yourself, and start your journey today. So, let's recap. To break free from the shackles of shyness, remember to fake it till you make it. Set realistic expectations. Challenge your negative thoughts. Practice mindfulness. Start conversations with a question. Step outside of your comfort zone. And most importantly, believe in yourself. In my experience, the key to overcoming shyness is to start small. Don't try to change everything overnight. Instead, focus on making small, incremental changes that will gradually build your confidence. Celebrate your successes, learn from your setbacks, and never give up on yourself. Remember, you are capable of amazing things. You have a unique voice, a valuable perspective, and a story to tell. Don't let shyness silence you. Embrace your true potential and let your light shine. As the great Maya Angelou once said, nothing can dim the light which shines from within. So, go out there and let your light shine, my friend. The world is waiting for you. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next video.